Hey, welcome back to Voices of Reality. I am Elisa.
And
Wait.
I'm Farah. We're back.
Yes, we had a little hiatus, but we are back catching up to the latest episode. And thank you guys for joining us in the chat. This is our first time going live. How do you feel, Farah?
We're live. And we can answer your questions. We can have an all-girl chat.
Yes. I don't know why it says 0 people watching, but I don't know why it's when there should be. Oh, wait, let me turn this down. Okay, yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. But anyway, we doing live. So we're going to start doing lives, right? We good to go live from now on?
I'm good.
Okay, yes. Okay. So we're going to jump right into it?
Yes.
This is episode 15 of Housewives of Atlanta, like I said, and we catching up. So we're a little bit behind, but we're going to catch up to the reunion part. So we still on episode 15. And this is where Sanya's husband, Ross, they continuing with the dinner. He stands up and he's like, y'all not going to F with my wife. Wait, what was the exact quote?
I think he said, don't F with my wife. I think that's what he said. Whatever he said, it was sexy. That's the point. I looked at him a different way.
Can we just acknowledge that I've been saying that I know he has some sex appeal going on? I just want to acknowledge that, I was already, I caught the vibe like from early. Yeah. And he stood up to the occasion. But yes, he stood up and he was like, y'all not going to F with my wife. And I just thought that was so sexy. And it really like caused like a pin drop in the room.
You saw Drew and Kenya. Like no one could say anything, especially if you don't got a man there. Kenya.
And do you think? I know. But what do you think about like his way of his approach to the women? Did you take it as aggressive?
I didn't take it as if I was in Sanya's situation. And again, Sanya could not stand up to Kenya and Shereé coming at her at the same time. I would expect my man to say something. So I think he did the right thing. I don't think he was aggressive. He didn't say, yeah, don't fuck with my wife, you bitches. He didn't do it in a ghetto way. He wasn't in their faces. He wasn't argumentative. It's just like, I'm not going to tolerate you disrespecting my wife while I'm here. So kudos to him and kudos to Sanya for having a man step up not like all the other men. But I didn't feel like he was disrespectful, aggressive, a black man that Kenya was trying to make it seem like he was aggressive or she didn't like his tone. I don't think any of the people felt threatened by what he said. He was just standing up for Sanya. The one thing that it proved that Sanya is very weak and she can't stand up for herself. I think that was the only thing as far as that. Like, Sanya, you need your man to come and shut shit down. You couldn't do it yourself.
That's exactly. And that's a shame because I feel like I would like my husband to I would take care of myself where he wouldn't even need to stand up. But I just loved how he saw how she was like a deer in headlight. So it's like there's nothing like you have like it's almost like you're compelled. You can't even help it. Like you have to stand up for your wife when you see that she's like over there drowning and like these women. So it was like he couldn't even help himself. Yeah. Because like you said, she just cannot handle Kenya. Like, it was just like a shame. And did you see when she was like a deer caught in headlight when Kenya was like, when they had their little back and forth?
Yes. She didn't know what to say to Kenya. She was trying to stand her ground and Kenya shut her down to where she didn't know what to say. So I see why her husband stood up and kind of said like, let's end this because my wife is drowning. He basically threw her life jacket and pulled it out of the ocean. And I think with Kenya, she just was like saying all these things about him because she didn't have a man to stand up. And even if Kenya had a man, that man that she would have had if she had a man, she can't say anything because her husband, Sanja's husband was right. So even if Kenya had, because I see on social media, when Kenya had a man, he would have said what he said. I think he still would have said what he said. But if Kenya had a man, what was the man going to say in Kenya's defense? Kenya was attacking Sanya.
Exactly. And Kenya probably wouldn't have did that because she would have shut up if she had a man. She wouldn't be so uptight about things if she had a man. And I love me some Kenya, so I always agree with her because we are fellow Aquarians. But this is
Lord.
one time that I do not agree with her. I don't agree with her antics and how she
I
was
don't either.
and how she said how he was aggressive because he was not. To me, like I said, he was compelled. She was like, kind of like Sanya was drowning. She couldn't handle any of these women. They was all coming at her from different angles, and she obviously couldn't handle that. Now, had that been me, my husband would have just sit back and he would have been watching the show go down with the guns blazing from me. So that would have never happened. But unfortunately, Sanya, like I said, I just don't think she's cut out to be a housewife. She could not handle the heat that Kenya was bringing.
If I was there with my husband, my boyfriend, he would have been like, all right, babe, calm down. He would have been calming me down. Like, oh, Lord, like, don't mess with her, but she's nuts, she's crazy. So it would have been the opposite. He was going to be calming me down. He probably was going to be helping Kenya. Like, babe, chill, like pulling me away from the table. So I think with not Sanya's defense, she just was weak and couldn't stand up to Kenya. I can't remember any husband really having to stand up for their wives on that show. I feel like all the women's always held their own, like Candy. I mean, Todd jumped in with the Marlo situation, but Marlo brought Todd in. So I can't remember anybody else having a man to stand up for them, but Sanya. Not even Drew, and Drew's
exactly.
like now.
And Todd, I think he should have stood up. Like at times, like he tried to. He said his little, like I said on the last episode, he said his little digs here and there. But I just feel like he should have came stronger. Where like Candy, her voice be cracking. It just be like a little bit too weak for me. I come in with guns blazing when somebody try to come at me. So maybe that's why my expectations are a little bit higher. But with Sanya, that was a complete fail, flop. I think Sanya needs to go. But it says that her contract's been renewed. She's going to be back for the next season, which I didn't think she was coming back. So
for all of them. I mean, this season was not very entertaining. Marlo made the season. So they're all coming back. Maybe they bring newer housewives or something. But if this is what's going to be happening going on next season, because Marlo's not going to be acting like this next season because she got so much flack this season. And her people are tearing her apart on social media. So I think next season is going to be showing her doing counseling, her mending friendships with Marlo and Candy. Yeah. She's not going to be the villain next season. So it's going to probably be somewhat boring. I'm not sure what's going to happen next season because then are they going to drag out the Drew and Sanya conflict, whatever crap they got going on? Because the other women seem to really get along. So they're going to probably end up making fake drama like Shereé and Candy or whatever. Or they're going to have to bring somebody else in there to kind of stir up the pot, which at this point, to be honest, watching this show, I think they need to revamp the whole cast because I feel like they have done their time on the show. Like we already know about Kenya and her daughter and her divorce, Candy's businesses, Drew and her failed marriage, Sanya, okay, we're still trying to get to know more about her and her Jamaican life. Drew,
and I'm not interested.
Yeah, so I feel like next season is going to be more boring than this season. They need to get a whole new cast.
I think they need to bring Nene and Portia, Phaedra back to shake things up. I don't even think it's a new cast. Keep some of them and bring in Nene, Phaedra, and Portia because they are going to bring it. And they're like chemistry together. It's going to be like a show.
They had said Portia was coming back, but if they do bring those three back, they have to get rid of three. So I think Drew now is trying to solidify her peach. So I think they should keep her.
Yeah, I do too.
She brings it and she doesn't back down. She tries. Sanya needs to go. Candy's boring, but I think you need someone like a Cynthia, someone like a mediator who's trying to mend things out. Marlo needs to stay. Kenya, sorry. I guess Kenya needs to.
No, Kenya needs to stay.
Kenya needs to stay. She brings good TV. So right now it would be Sanya. Shereé could go. Try me. What the hell? Shereé?
Yeah, there's nothing else that she can bring, but
I would say Candy, Shereé, and Sanya. Those three would need to go and bring Nene, Phaedra, and Portia.
I agree.
I think. That's what to the show. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But getting back to the storyline, within that scene when they were at the table, the only thing I didn't like either was Shereé was kind of being like a little bit bone collector / instigator too, because she knows at the end of the day, like Sanya was trying to do her best as a businesswoman and, you know, hosting the trip and stuff like that. So I didn't like that part where Shereé was kind of like, trying to put the battery in like Kenya's back to kind of like get her riled up against Sanya. So I mean, I didn't like that part.
Shereé can't stand up for herself. So the same way she did with Fatum, what was her name? Fatum?
Yeah.
She did the same thing with Kenya. It's kind of like, okay, I can't really I guess she didn't know she could stand up to Sanya. Shereé says things that we're like, what? What did she talk about? She can't really defend herself. So she's somewhat like a Sanya. To me, she doesn't really. It seems like she's
not as bad, but she is
not as bad. It seems like she's staying up for herself, but what she's saying is not really digs, or she lands the plane. She flies the plane, but then she crashes. It doesn't land smoothly. So with that, I think she kind of like put that bug in Kenya's ear during dinner, like, oh well, Sanya said this, and I'm like, yeah, you're doing it because you know Kenya's gonna go off. But you didn't, because in the beginning, they showed a part when Sanya and Shereé were talking about the whole incident. And Shereé kind of like, yeah, well, Kenya and I feel this way, blah, blah, blah. You didn't go off on her, but then you're going to go tell Kenya during the conversation that was happening that, you know, I think it was Ralph and Drew maybe talking, someone else was talking. But then you're going to whisper to Kenya because you know Kenya already feels the type of way in the wants to confront Sanya. So that's how I feel. I think once Kenya went off, then Shereé all of a sudden had a backbone and felt like, oh, this is my opportunity to jump in this conversation.
Exactly. That part got on my nerves. So then, you know, that was okay. One other thing I do want to mention. What was Sanya wearing? Did you see her outfit?
What the hell she had on? I can't remember. What was she wearing?
It was like some kind of feathers, like at the end.
Oh,
dance. It was like polyester, like type of material.
She had pants on, and wasn't it like a
yes, and it had like some rat's nest type of like fur. Like it was terrible. It was like some kind of like nest of fur, like matted nest. Like I don't like anything with feathers. I might be exaggerating with the matted nest, but I don't like anything with like feathers. I don't know if you watched Salt Lake City, but at the reunion, a couple of them had feathers, and it was horrible. So it just they need to stay away from feathers and polyester. It was terrible.
When I first saw it off, I'm like, she's wearing that in Jamaica. Isn't it kind of hot in Jamaica? Like, even though it's at nighttime, it didn't give me Jamaica.
Yeah, it gave me hot and tacky. But
not good. Well, she's not stuff, obviously.
Yeah. But so the next scene was when Shereé Sanya invited Shereé out to the iFit again, and she did not invite Kenya this time, which is basically like Shereé. Her and Shereé had their little thing where they went together to the iFit, which I thought that was cool. Because Shereé did seem like that is her thing. So I thought that was nice that Sanya even took the risk to invite someone that, you know, is into the fitness business. Because I think like those people with iFit could easily just be like, hey, we want Sanya. I mean, we want Shereé because she's like stacked like a brick house and she has a following. But that was cool.
Well, two things. If I was Sanya, I would not invite Shereé. One, because you were piggybacking with Kenya the night before, so I would not. And secondly, look at Shereé's body.
Exactly.
They come, you know, Jamaica, they're like them thick gals. They're like them thick. So they seen that body. They would have been like, goodbye, Sanya, we want the thickums. Because her body is what, you know, Jamaicans and what's in right now, the big butt and everything else. Sanya has an athletic body. Again, it's what you want, what you're looking for in iFit or whatever. But I could see them getting a deal with Shereé. And I see people following Shereé on this iFit probably a little bit more than Sanya. She's a little bit more well-known. Her body's more body goals. So I could see people like, I wonder what she do to get her butt like that. But again, we'll talk later on. Somebody made a comment in the reunion that her butt was fake, but whatever. I don't know. I got to go back to the first season when she was on the show to see her butt, to see if it was similar to the one she got now. But I think if Shereé had an iFit, I don't have any of those machines. I think I would probably want to watch Shereé work out more than Sanya.
I would too. I like Sanya. I mean, I haven't chosen her for like a month or so for my iFit because they have like a lot of other new iFit people on there. So, but I did like her originally, but I'm gonna go back to her and see like the vibe again. But like you said, if Shereé was on there, I would absolutely choose Shereé with that brick house body of hers because I'm a brick house too.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It depends on your body type. There are people who's slimmer, more athletic that would want to look at Sanya, and there are people that would want to rather look at Shereé. I'm a little bit more shaped like Shereé. I would not want to look at Sanya. I would prefer to look at Shereé and say, this is my goal to look like Shereé.
Yeah.
But again, the iFit, I'm assuming, has all body types. But I think Shereé could have gotten a good deal with the iFit people just based on her looks.
Absolutely. But when they was out, I did think that Shereé was a little bit more understanding when she was listening to Sanya about the whole conflict with Kenya. And I just think like the only thing with Sanya is like she's so good behind the scenes. Like as far as like when the conflict is over, she's able to kind of say her piece with the, the whole like responses, the confrontation. Like she seems so like great with the comebacks when the conflict is over, when she's kind of like talking out with someone else. She has so many great points about like if Kenya was with Dancing with the Stars, would Kenya have stopped Dancing with the Stars to go check on her friends and see how they doing? No, that would not have happened. But, she says she makes so many great points and has so many comebacks, and Sanya just can't do it when she's like face to face with the conflict. That's the only thing like I have, and like again, an issue with Sanya and her whole confrontation. Like she's just not able to like stand up to people. She does it behind the scenes, but I did like her and Sheree's interaction and how she kind of like talked it out with her. Shereé was understanding. I liked it.
So Sanya, when I first heard there was a Jamaican woman, I was like, yeah, she gonna bring that fire, that Caribbean fire. She didn't bring nothing. So it's two things, Sanya. Either that's how she is, and she can't go to toe-to-toe people. She could be a little bit intimidated by Kenya because she's a little more aggressive. Or it could be one of those people like you've been in arguments. I know it's happened to me. And you were having to argue with somebody, or you got into a confrontation with somebody that you wasn't expecting it to elevate to that extreme. And then you said certain things, but after it was done, and you were like, dang, I should have said this. Oh, so she might be one of those people at the moment she can't articulate how she feels. And then later on, when she processes the whole thing, she's able to think like, oh, I should have said this. So I've been in situations where I'm like, dang, I gave it to her, but I forgot to say this. When
You're right about that.
So I'm like, dang, how do I start another conflict? Because now I got everything written down of what I should have said. So I don't know if that's her personality also. That is not that she can't go toe-to-toe, is that sometimes people are just caught off guard and don't know how to react at that particular moment. But maybe she has a conflict the second time, she'll be able to be like, oh, now I remember all the stuff I should have said to you. And here you go. But again, her and Kenya didn't have another conflict.
I don't think she would. She still would flop. So I don't think... Well, yes, she hasn't been bringing it to no one but Drew. That's the only person she's bringing it to.
And Drew shut her down too. You seem to be shutting her down too.
I'm liking Drew so far. Like now I'm liking her. Before I wasn't so like into her. I wanted her to be fired, but I like her now. I'm starting to like her. She's starting to bring some fire.
The thing I don't like about Drew, I think is fake fire. That's the thing. I think there's some people that's their personality. Marlo, Kenya, that's them. Like I'm bringing it. I'm quick with my tongue. I'm gonna give it to you. With Drew, I think she saw how she was last episode. I think she's trying to maintain a check, and now she's bringing it, like trying to act like she's so tough. Like when I saw her on Bravo, she's Watch What Happened Live. She's like, oh, I'm from what? Detroit or wherever the hell she's
Chicago.
from. Chicago. I think she's trying to pretend, or this facade or this persona of like, yeah, I'm tough, I'm this and that. And I think she's trying too hard. I think to me, it comes off fake because she wasn't like that last season. Where's all this energy when Ralph was doing all this stuff to you? Where was all that energy? That's what I'm saying. If you like that way and you seems like you could sometimes be confrontational, you like to argue, you don't bring it to your husband when he played you on national TV. So to me, I just feel like it's fake. And she probably saw herself last year and how they made fun of her outfits, her body, and her weight. And again, this could be due to her confidence has gone up. Now they can't really say the stuff they were saying last year. Her makeup is on point. Her clothes are better now. Her wigs are better. Last year, they were tearing her apart about her physical appearance. Maybe this year she feels more confident. I can say whatever the hell I want to say to you because you can't really say anything, but I had a mommy makeover.
Yeah, I think it's that. I do think that she's feeling more confident. I think she's settling into her like element now. I think when you first kind of like when you're the new girl on the scene, the new girl at the school, in the class, like you do have to, you are a little bit, let me check it out. Let me see what it's like. Cause I'm like that when I come on a scene. Like people don't know me. Like I'm very like, I can be quiet, but they notice, like people that know me know there's like a storm here. But when I first go into like a group, I'm very quiet and I'm observant. Like I'm looking to see. And then after I see things are comfortable, I'm feeling comfortable with the atmosphere, then I let loose and be able to relax. And I think that's what it was with Drew. Because a lot of things that she says, she was on Candy's Speak on It. And I just like their interaction too. And she was basically saying that Candy, she was basically explaining to Candy, like, you should have been like a mentor to me. Like, instead of making fun of me and like my companies or whatever it was, she was just saying that she expected more from her. And I liked the way her approach was to Candy. Like, she didn't check her, but she basically articulated like what I was expecting. Because Candy asked her, like, what did I do wrong? Like, she was kind of like saying like, what did I do to you wrong? But I liked how Candy had to retreat and back it up a little bit because Drew spoke the truth. And she said to her, like, I was expecting you to kind of give me some mentorship. You know that maybe I was like, getting my feet wet with the business. Maybe I should have, not been the forefront of this business because I had a mommy makeover, whatever. But it's for you to tell me, because you are a businesswoman. You're business savvy. You've been in businesses for years and years and years. So I just love the way she is coming into like, herself and being able to like speak to people in a way. Cause I just think she was shutting people down on the low. Like she shut shit down. And she wasn't able to do that last year. Now she's shutting shit down.
She said that to Candy? Wow, I didn't see that.
But she said it in a nice way. It wasn't like a confrontational way. She was basically saying, and I just liked it because Candy was on some, what could I have done? Like, what? And then when Drew articulated it to her, Candy kind of was like, okay, you're right. You're right. Oh. So I like when somebody says that, because it's like, now I'm able to communicate to you and you understand and you acknowledge what I'm saying and you're validating it. So that's what I appreciated about what Drew said and then how Candy responded, because it wasn't like she wasn't being defensive.
Gotcha. I mean, I know she was on Candy's show. I was like, I don't want to hear Drew speak.
Yes. So the comment in the chat says, I noticed Sanya, Joanne Brennan says this, I noticed Sanya seems passive compared to the rest of the women on the show. You both make valid reasons why Sanya probably has issues with confrontation. And Glorel says, hey, ladies, you're doing an awesome job. Thank you, girl.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for being in the chat. We're still new, so we're going to gain some momentum as we keep going. We only got a few people here, but thank you for still sticking it out with us until we get the hundreds and thousands of people in the chat, because that's going to come.
I can't see the chat. I guess, I don't know. I can't see the chats, but just read them off and let me know.
Okay. Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's why I appreciate, Drew, but like, Joanne Brennan said is like, I do think that, Sanya seems like I said, she does seem passive. Like, I just, like we've said, like I hate to say like she needs to be fired, but I don't know.
Sanya?
Yeah, Sanya. Because
I could say she needs to be fired. She's a girl. She got 4 gold medals. She needs to go.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, But I'm just surprised that they're inviting her back. But like I said, I do want her to be fired. I'm just trying to like be light on her. I do want her to be fired. But like I said, I want Drew to stay because Drew is starting to come out of her shell. I appreciate somebody who's coming out and snatching wigs. So she's starting to get into that element. So aside, I want everybody else to say, I want them to bring back Portia. Like I do.
So I think the reason why they bring Sanya back, because they're hoping there's more conflict between her and either Kenya, or a little bit more conflict between her and Drew. Because I don't know if Sanya's fully over the statements that Kenya made about her husband. Because there was a part, I don't know if it was the reunion or another episode where Sanya said, "Oh, I don't like what she was saying about her husband." I think, it's later on in the episode where Sanya calls Kenya and confronts her. That was she actually stood up to Kenya about that part. I think we'll talk more about it in the upcoming episode. She did mention it to Kenya. So that was a part I actually was like, yes, Sanya. She stood up for her husband. You know, there's some people, when it comes to them, they can't defend themselves. But if you talk about their kids, their mama, their man, oh, Lord. So she, at that point, I saw a little bit more of the Jamaican coming out. So
absolutely.
With Portia coming back, it'll be good, but I mean, do I really want to see Simon and what's going on in their personal life? Yeah.
I know.
But I think with Portia coming back, there might be some conflict with Kenya,
I think so.
Marlo, and I like the conflict between her and Kenya. It was very comedic. It was like funny moments between her and Kenya going at it. So I think with Portia coming in, it would be good. It would be good TV.
Yes, because Portia's a mess. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if Simon would stop that, because when Portia had her own show with Portia Family Matters or whatever it was called, she was a hot mess in that show. I think that's why she's not back on Housewives. But that show was a complete mess. I loved it. I love a messy situation. And she brought the mess, and it didn't even matter that Simon didn't tame the messiness at all. So I know if they brought her back, the messiness would continue on Housewives. So
yeah,
but yeah, so
Portia back and include her baby father, because that's where all the drama comes with.
Oh yeah, I love him.
Yes, so funny. I like him too. I actually like them together than Simon.
I don't know about together, because I like his whole comedic like way about things, that the little shots that he takes on the low at Portia. So I kind of enjoy that. I enjoyed him being single and dating these other women outside of Portia, and him talking about them and the way he talks about them. I love that part of him. I think he's such a character. So I do want him. Yeah.
What's his name again? I don't remember.
Dennis.
So they said he was the breakout star of the show.
He was.
Yeah, he was. He's very entertaining. Very entertaining. So I think they need to include him on the show.
Absolutely. He's not much of a looker, but like I said before in our other episodes, like even if you're not a looker, if your personality, it could win me over if you're not much of a looker. And I can see why she's into Dennis, because he has such he's so humorous, and I love a sense of humor.
Well, I don't think he's a bad looking guy. He's not, it's just the belly for me. Oh God. But he's physical. He's not facially. He's a good looking guy in the face. He's not bad.
Yeah, he has potential. I would have to dress him up a little bit and get him together. And I don't like him. Belly. He got these sleepy eyes, these big. It's big and I don't know.
I don't like. Whoa, he look better than Simon.
No, Simon got a little swag with him. I don't know if it's the money. I mean, they both got money, so
it's the money. Dang, Simon don't do nothing for me.
I don't know. He got this. I can see both of the appeal with both of them, because we get way off track from the episode. But I can see the appeal with Simon, because Simon has this swag. And if you look at some of his posts, you can tell he's very intelligent, very about book smart with his kids. He's always talking about his kids and with the accomplishments that his kids do. I love that part of him. And the way he communicates, and the way he puts up his post, and the whole introduction to the post is something about, I love an intelligent man. And you can just tell by the way he writes them that he's very intelligent.
I don't
And the way
follow
he comes
Sanya.
back at people too is very eloquent. Like if he sees like a comment where you coming at him, he will take some shots at you. I like a man who will like stand up. He looked like a little like corny, but he will bring the fire.
Oh my god. So okay, well I take that back. I don't know much about him, just going by what I see, and I'm like, nah.
I don't follow him, but I see a lot of the posts that the Facebook groups follow, and they'll, you know how they highlight other like the housewives and their husband to post, and he puts up a lot of funny and a lot of good comebacks to like the critics. So I can see why Portia would like Simon, and I can also see why she would be attracted to Dennis.
Money, but moving right along.
Okay, yeah. So the next part is when Marlo speaks to Monyetta and Shereé.
About
Marlo speaks to them, and she speaks about the Candy situation.
What about at this point? Marlo was wrong with the whole Candy situation, the whole worldwide, not worldwide, and going at Candy's head. It was just one of those scenes where Marlo just went way below the belt.
She did, but when she was talking to Shereé and Monyetta, I felt like they was kind of like, I don't know, they always like flip-flopping, it seems like, even with Monyetta. Like, I don't know, even Candy said it on her speak on it, like she seemed to kind of be like on Marlo's side on the low.
Yes, because when she was talking to them, Marlo was trying to influence. Marlo was saying, well, I don't know why Candy wasn't getting involved, because this was a conversation I was having with Ralph. And why would she bring that up and mention my nephews and stuff like that? When Marlo started saying it at first, I was like, she does have a point. But then when I really thought about it again, I was like, no, she doesn't. Because it's the same similar situation what Candy was trying to get at to Marlo was, why are you attacking this man when you're doing something very similar to what you're getting upset about? I think that's what Candy was trying to relate to Marlo. But when Marlo worded how she felt at that particular time to Monyetta and Shereé, she played the victim.
Yeah.
And if you wasn't really there or paid attention to what happened or replayed that scene, you could have sided with Marlo. So I think that was it. I don't think Monyetta was against Candy. I think it's the way that Marlo played the victim that made him rethink that situation. But if you were to sit down and watch the scene again, you would realize that Marlo was wrong.
Yeah, but they were there, but like you said, maybe they didn't pay attention. Monyetta was there. I would have been pissed too if my friend is agreeing with somebody who came at me and my husband. Like, I would have been pissed, and I could tell when Candy was on speak on it, she was annoyed with Monyetta. Like, yeah, I got to speak to her about, like, because I guess she just sees, how they see it when we see it. So Candy didn't realize like Monyetta was kind of like siding with Marlo at that point. But like you said, maybe Monyetta wasn't paying attention to what was going down. But I would think that was a tense argument at the table. Like, I don't want my friend agreeing with somebody who comes against me, because then I'm definitely going to pounce if you're going against me and you're my friend.
But now that we're talking about it, when the argument was happening and Marlo was saying these things, Monyetta was sitting there, her husband, and she was like, no, that's not right. No. So now that we're talking about Monyetta at that time wasn't agree with what Marlo was saying and knew that Marlo was going below the belt. So maybe she just doesn't want any conflict with Marlo. There are those type of friends that's like, I'm cool with you, but I don't want conflict with nobody. Nobody.
Exactly. And
I'm
that's why
everyone.
And that's why Monyetta's not going to be a housewife. You just lost the potential to even get a peach because you're not bringing it. You riding the fence.
That's true. That's when she should have stood up to Candy at that point and try to bring it. I think that's what they were trying to fill Monyetta out. And I think overall, she would have been a good housewife because she's interracial couple. She's Neil's baby mother, Neil's kid's baby mother. So I think it would have been good to see a little bit of her life. But she didn't bring it at all. No conflict. She was just there. Like, and it was after a while, I was like, why is she there? Why is she there? So I think that's what it was. They were testing around and she flopped, just like Fatum flopped. I think Monyetta didn't bring anything.
I don't think Fatum flopped. I think with Fatum, she kind of like the craziness came out too much. Like where they had to fire her, basically. Like, had to tell her, like, you got to go. You can't come back. Get your stuff and get out of here. Because that's when she stole, behind the scenes, what happened. Purse. What they said, she stole Drew's purse. So they basically told her, pack your shit up and get up out of here.
Which is good, because I didn't like her anyway. I don't think she was a good fit. I think she was going to try to bring too much drama. Was unnecessary. It was kind of like you were doing way too much, too fast for no reason. Like, if there's conflict in these reality shows, it has to make sense to me. I don't like fake conflict. I don't want conflict that's like, okay, this is really like high school, kindergarten, petty stuff. It has to be some realness to it, relatable, where I could be like, oh, I could see why somebody's that upset. Oh, I could see why this is a conflict. Not just, oh, well, I feel this way because my friend Shereé said this, that, and the other, and I'm investigating. Her conflict was like too much. She was trying too hard to bring conflict.
Yeah, she was. Like, you got to be natural. Like, you're trying too hard to get a peach. Relax. Exactly. Let it execute naturally, like genuinely. And yeah, she was over the top, very unhinged, psychotic almost. Yeah, like psych issues.
And so she was crazy every time you saw her. Hair was all over frizzy and all
over the place. Drunk.
Yeah,
disgusting.
She's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. Goodbye. Platoon. Good riddance, I meant. But the next scene was when rafting with Shereé and Kenya was talking about the Sanya situation and how Ross stood up, and Kenya was basically saying, I feel so sorry for myself that I don't have a man to stand up for me.
Well, I hope this taught Kenya a lesson. Don't go for nobody's head when they got a man right by them and you don't have anybody by you. That's how I see. So in a situation like that, you felt comfortable to verbally be, I don't really fully call it an attack, but very aggressive with Sanya. And her man saying then you expected nothing to happen. Because a lot of women feel like, oh, if I'm going toe-to-toe for another woman, a man should not intervene. That's not true. If he feels his woman is being attacked, whether it's verbally or physically, some men are very protective.
Yeah.
In that particular moment, that's what happened. So if you don't want that to happen, maybe next time you're gonna go and attack Sanya, you're gonna do it when her husband's not around. She's gonna think twice of ever saying anything.
Exactly, and that's how I like to. That's how I like to shut it down. Like, no, to back up. And unfortunately, it's only gonna happen if her husband is there. If he's not there, they're gonna go on an attack, and Sanya's not gonna be able to defend herself. But at least like that kind of puts a little stop for Sanya on Sanya's behalf. But I did appreciate how Kenya did admit. I don't know if I would have admitted like, oh, I feel so bad for myself that I don't have a man to stand up. Like, that just seems so pathetic and pitiful. Like, I would have never like even like admitted that. Like, oh, I feel sorry for myself. No, I don't feel sorry for myself. Like, that just seemed like pathetic to me.
Very pathetic. And it means more ammunition for Marlo next time. Let Marlo see that scene. Next argument, she's going to talk about that. So you don't want to get Marlo nothing extra to talk about you. So
wait, what part was it? Talking to Sanya's husband was very scared, and she talked about the aggression and how he was aggressive. Like, we already talked about that. He's not, to me, he wasn't aggressive. Like you said, he should have stood up. And Sanya also was talking about to Marlo that she feels like Kenya's using her she's using her divorce as an excuse for every situation.
Yeah, woe is me. I agree. Either her divorce or Brooklyn.
You think so? Like, she's using it as an excuse all the time?
Well, when Sanya went back and they replayed some of the stuff, every time there was a conflict between her and Sanya, she did bring up her child or her ex-husband or soon-to-be ex-husband. So yeah, when it pertains to Sanya, yeah.
That's true. And I see that Sanya did have a point. I just wish that she would voice that opinion when Kenya's coming at her. Like, say something. But I guess in a situation when someone brings up their kid and they're like, life is in shambles, you can't really say anything at that point. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess Sanya does have to speak behind the scenes when it comes to like that situation.
Yeah, because if you were to say something, oh, using your kid as an excuse or your divorce or whatever, Kenya's gonna go off.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like somebody is constant. It's kind of like the other housewife with Dorit saying that they robbed my house, so I have PTSD. You can't really go into attack them. Like, you're using that excuse all the time for everything, because then here goes social media and everybody else. How could you do this to a single mother raising a kid and she's going through a divorce? And so she's just carrying that as a way to get sympathy from everyone. And she's still dragging it from last season.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I do think she does like that is her life now, like the divorce, like being a single mom. So I do think, I do think she's bringing it up as an excuse all the time. But I do think that does, like, she's allowing that to consume her. Like, where she should be kind of like still living her life. And, it shouldn't be like, I know it's a lot to go through a divorce, but I just think like she wants that so bad, it has consumed her. So I don't know if she's using it as an excuse. I think that is like naturally how she feels. The walls are closing in on her because her divorce is like almost final. She doesn't have a man anymore. She doesn't have the whole American dream. So I just think she is like almost like in some kind of semi-depression.
First of all, Kenya didn't have that man that long. It wasn't like they were married for 20 years, 10 years, 5 years. I don't think they've been married for 3 years. So that's what. She didn't know him that long until they got married. And Kenya was very nasty before she got married, talking in Phaedra. Let's rewind. I know Kenya's your girl, but let's go back to all the stuff that Kenya was doing when she was single, talking about people's marriages, talking about people's husband, doing things she shouldn't be doing. So when this happened, it's called karma, bitch.
No.
That's how I feel. I don't feel bad for Kenya at all. Lord forbid, the way Kenya acts now, Lord forbid if she did have a happy marriage. Can you imagine the shade and the stuff she had been saying to these women? You got to think how Kenya was before she got this man.
No, I don't think so, because when she was with Mark, she wasn't acting like some stuck up like chick, even from the beginning.
Exactly. It was a bad marriage.
Well, we didn't know that, and we didn't know that, right?
It was a bad marriage. I could tell it was a bad marriage.
Maybe. But I do think like she's grown a little bit. Like I do think she does kind of like fall back, but I do think she has shown some growth. So we can't always keep, if somebody's asking for forgiveness and they're trying to grow, you got to give them room to grow. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think she's grown, even the situation. The thing that with me, and I think I've mentioned in my other videos, is that I used to look up to Kenya. Not look up like, oh, she's like, wow, she was Miss whatever, America or USA, whatever she was. I remember I was a young girl watching her. I remember when she won. I remember when she was first on King magazine. I remember when she was born. So I knew of Kenya's history, the sitcom she was on.
Mm-hmm.
So when she was on the show, I was like, oh, and I also, she was like one of, or probably the most prettiest dark skinned girl I've seen on TV. Like I would admire, like, oh my gosh, she's dark skinned like me. She's on TV. She's beautiful. She's natural. So when she was on the show, I was so excited. Like I was watching it for her. And then as it went on, I'm like, I don't like her personality. Like I really started not liking her every season more and more. And so far, it hasn't been a season where I'm like, oh my God, I like Kenya. There's something about her I don't like. And I can't find myself to turn around and be like, oh, I like her. I just don't like her. I actually like Marlo a little bit more than I like her. And Marlo's terrible.
Absolutely not.
Marlo's terrible. But there's something about Kenya. I don't know. I just can't see myself liking her. Even with the situation of her and Cynthia. She was like, let's go back. To me, she comes off like a friend that if I could not trust her. Remember when she tried to ruin Cynthia's engagement?
Yeah, she did do a lot. Yeah, she did do some foul things, but I do think she did redeem herself after that. I do think like she did, kind of like Cynthia forgave her. I think they talked it out. I do think like I said, people make mistakes. I'm sure you've made some mistakes. You're not like
yes, but not so many. When it comes to friendship.
You make mistakes in friendship. Stop.
Yeah, I made mistakes, but not so many. Like with her, I just feel like she's not a loyal. I just don't feel like she's a loyal friend. That's just my opinion. I just don't like her. Comment below, but I just don't like Kenya. I wouldn't trust her as a loyal friend. There's something about I don't trust her as a loyal friend. I can't see myself trust. You with Cynthia, I thought there was a good friendship. Then you try to put the woman on blast on TV when she was trying to do the wine thing. You remember when Cynthia was trying to open a wine business? Oh, you're putting on blast. I mean, who knows if Cynthia lost sponsorship because they realized this woman knows nothing about what she's trying to do.
That's true. That part I don't agree with. Like I said, she did have some kind of missteps along the way. Like I said, everyone does. I don't agree with that. That was foul. And being a business person myself, like I said, Cynthia doesn't know how to bring it, because had that been me and my friend, I would have tore her to shreds.
Exactly. And
if someone would have came for my business.
And the woman, she's trying to open up business, her situation, all this stuff, and that's what you're going to do on national TV. Nobody said nothing about when you're trying to start well, somebody did say it, when she was trying to do the hair care line and she had water in her shampoo, and it's just a lot of stuff she's done. I'm just like, I'm not a fan of hers. I stopped following her on Instagram. I don't really care about her. Her daughter's cute, and that's it. I'm just not a fan of Kenya. I'm not a fan of any. I really don't particularly like any of them on the show. I watch it, but I don't have like a favorite, like, oh, I really like her. No. Kenya I used to like Kenya, but hopefully next season I feel differently.
Okay, well, I have a off and on likeness for Kenya and Marlo a little bit. Like I definitely see, like I said, I don't know if it's the Aquarius vibe, but I do see some type of like, things about them that I do admire somewhat. Like especially with Kenya, I feel like Kenya's so smart. She's a quick thinker. She's witty. She's funny. Like I consider like that. I love somebody that's like witty, quick comebacks. Like she's very articulate. She knows how to communicate. She knows how to be loving. She knows how to be a friend, even though she does, mess up sometimes. So I do like that part about her. So there are some, like I said, there's some flaws, but there are some things that I do like about her.
The one thing I like about her, she's a great mom. She's a great mom.
Yeah, that too. But aside from that, like her character I'm talking about. Okay, so the next scene is with Drew and Ralph. Ralph catering to Drew being crippled and like wheeling her around the place in Jamaica. And
I mean, at first I was like, oh, this an act, like really, Drew. But then to come to find out she really did tear her, whatever she tore, and that she had surgery. So it was like, okay. I mean, would I have stayed? Yeah, I guess I would. Because some people are like, well, why didn't you just go home? I would have stayed. But I mean, I guess he was showing that he's some decent husband. I mean,
yeah, I would have stayed too. I think, like I said, at first I'm like, why would you like stay? But like you said in our other episode, like I would have stayed because it's Jamaica. Like you don't have to go running and jogging around, even though she can't walk. I would have laid in the sun, went to the pool, went to the beach. Like I still would have went out to eat. I still would have enjoyed the island. So I don't think she should have left.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of Ralph either.
Oh yeah, we spoke about that. I definitely think he's like, Drew is like, that's the part of her, like, I don't like. That doesn't seem like it's going to get any better. Like, I think she's getting better within the show as far as bringing the heat. But when it comes to Ralph, she's still like a little bit like dingbatish and like too submissive. Like, because she wants that whole American dream that she just is not going to get with him.
No, maybe he's financially helping her.
No, I doubt that.
You don't think so? I mean, now she probably is making more money than him being on the show, but before that, she didn't. What the hell did Drew have before that? I don't think Drew even had a real job before the show. Like, what was Drew doing before the show?
That's true. Like, she probably wasn't doing much, but I mean, he probably was helping her, but I still don't think, like, that could be more the reason why she's so into him and why she won't let him go. But, I still don't think, even if he was taking care of her, it's like her, I don't know, she's so dingbatish, like, to me, when it comes to him. Like, she's like a dingbat, so.
I think she'll be a dingbat in any relationship. She's just a dingbat. I can't really say it's him. It could be her being an idiot. There are just women that when they're just not that smart. She might be one of those ones that's just not that smart.
No, I think she's smart. I definitely think she's smart. I think she has intelligence, but I think she's one of those women, like a lot of women, that has to cater to a man in order to keep a man. Like listen, I'm not against catering to a man, but catering in a way where it's like anything he wants, you're like a servant to him. Like you turn a blind eye to the dumb things that he do in order to keep him. You don't want to ruffle his feathers, so you're walking on eggshells. You're allowing him to go out and doing whatever the f he wants to, spend a night out, go out on trips, go to Florida like he did for days on end. Like I just don't think she's not dumb. She's a smart woman, but she's one of those women that has to have a man. She wants that imagery. That's all she's looking for. And I just think that's the part that's making her like seem stupid, but she's not. Yeah, she's not though. Her thing is like a lot of women, she just wants a man.
I think with Drew, she wants a man and everything else, but I think with her, when it comes to Ralph, he's very controlling, manipulative, and there's other things behind the scene we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's true. True. But he did cater to her while he was in Jamaica, so I do appreciate a man. I mean, I guess he does serve, he does have some good qualities, but I don't think they compensate for the bad ones. But I mean,
cameras rolling.
Yeah. That could be true.
There was cameras there. The worst thing for people on TV to see is her foot is broken or whatever issue she had with her foot, and him being a total jerk at that time. So again, he probably got a lot of slack from how he treated her last season too.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to try to step up this season and be better too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So then, I'm not that much of a fan of hers either.
Who?
I don't like Ralph.
Oh yeah, no one likes him. Who likes him? Who can say they really like Ralph and the way that he treats Drew? Who could? No one likes him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the next part is Monyetta talks to Candy about what Marlo said. Whole like thing, and we can skip over that. Kenya checks on Drew. That was nice. She checked on her and her little, torn Achilles. And then they go to dinner, and Marlo and Candy, even though they got beef, they got the same skirt on.
It was the same top, wasn't it?
It was that whole like it was.
Yeah, which I found kind of weird because it was one of those tops like, wow, this is different. And for them to have the same one on was like, okay.
Well, it was name brand, when it's like Chanel or like Louis Vuitton, they all gonna have it. Like it was cute. I like a puffy sleeve, so I did like that. And Marlo, Sanya goes around the table to ask about what they appreciate about the trip. And that was like nothing. I don't like somebody trying to but that was whatever. But Marlo says that she appreciates Shereé cheering her on as she ran. She appreciated, Shereé cheering. Oh yeah, remember that part? I did like that part too. Like, cause it showed that Marlo did she needed that boost.
So I have a little soft spot for Marlo because she does have a lot of stuff that she's dealing with, and she's now opening up and being more vulnerable, especially in the reunion. She kind of let everyone tap into a little bit more of into her life. So that part, it just made me feel like, oh man, she just wants. I think of Marlo, she just wants good female friends, but she probably doesn't know how to keep them because she can verbally attack them at any moment, like she did with Kenya. And her and Kenya just don't mesh. So, but I think it was nice that she said that she felt good when Shereé cheered her on, because again, Marlo's doing a lot of stuff and she may not get that recognition from women or even family members like, oh, Marlo, you're doing a good job. Go, you could do it. She might not be, getting that. So just to hear someone cheering your name and encouraging you and hoping you win, even if it was just a race against Drew, was encouraging. And she mentioned that she saves it and listens to it. So I think that was nice.
Yeah, I thought that was nice too. So then they Marlo and Candy have a conversation. They just didn't seem to resolve anything at the table. with the whole like discussion with Ralph and Sanya. They tried, but it just didn't seem to work out at the table for me.
No. I think maybe it was too early. Later on it works out, but I think it was just too early to try to resolve it then.
Yeah. And I think with Marlo, she just doesn't want, I think her problem is like, I think she regrets the way she said she kicked out the boys. Like, I really believe that she kicked them out, but I just think she didn't kick them out like how she said, like what we said in the last episode, like get the F out. Because she seems to, even in the other episodes, and even when she does like her interviews, like you can tell, like she has a weakness and she'll come out with guns blazing when you talk about her kicking out the nephews or anything in relation to that. Because that's why she got so mad at Candy for bringing that up.
So you think she didn't say that to the nephews, or she did and she's trying to cover up what she said to the nephews?
I don't think she was that harsh. I think she, like the way she said it is like, you know, get the F out, kicking it out. I really do believe that she needed a break. It seemed like they're staying with her now, or maybe not. I don't know, but it seemed like she still is in their life consistently. But I think with her, I don't know if she did it for the show and she's regretting it now, but I do believe that I don't think it was as harsh as she put it out to be. Like where she's like, get the F out. Like, I don't need y'all anymore. Like, y'all acting up. Like, like I really believe that it was like, you know what? She called up her sister and she was probably like, listen, hey sis, I just need a break for a little bit. Like, they kind of acting wild. Like, can they just come over for like a couple of weeks? I'm gonna come get them and, you know, work it out. But I think for the show, she probably just went, you know, she wanted it to seem like she wanted the dramatics. And now it's like, she's trying to reel it back because now Kenya and everybody else is kind of talking about it now and they holding her accountable for it. But I don't really believe that she did kick them out.
Like I think she did kick them out. The way that, because one, this is one, Marlo's very impulsive to me. And I think she could have came home, saw the house, total mess, and lost it. And another reason that made me think that the way she kicked them out wasn't the best is because remember the episode of her sister. Her sister implied that she didn't agree with how Marlo kicked them out, but her sister didn't really go too deep into it. And I think it's because the cameras were rolling. And she also told Marlo that she didn't agree with the things she says to the nephews. So that's what made me think like, the way she kicked them out or what she said to those boys wasn't the best thing because her sister mentioned it.
Mm-hmm.
And her sister mentioned it, but kind of like, I don't want to say too much. It was kind of one of those things like, oh, I want to say it, but I can't because, hello, there's cameras. And if I say something, this could potentially mess up Marlo's image. So I don't, and again, how Marlo said it to the girls, oh, I told my nephews, get the F out. If you didn't really say it in that manner, I don't see you saying it to them in that manner. Like, oh, I don't see it. And again, I could be wrong. I'm just basing on Marlo's personality and how she reacts to the girls and impulsive when something happens. When you stressed out and these kids are not listening, you're getting very upset and you're constantly telling the same thing, you will lose it. As a parent, I've lost my kids. I never told them to get the F out because I can't.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. But I've lost it. And maybe I've said something I shouldn't have said, and I had to apologize and say, look, I said this because you were doing this and you don't listen.
Yeah.
You know, so Anthony. So I see where she could have brought, like, I can't take this shit no more. You guys gotta get the fuck out. Like, I can't. And that's sometimes, let me tell you, as a mother to boys, you gotta curse sometimes at these. For some reason, you gotta get to their level, scoop down, and talk to them to register. Like, I'm not a cursor. I don't say F and S, but sometimes you're gonna have to throw an F bomb there for them to, damn, my mom don't never curse. So Marlo Price said, yo, y'all gotta get the fuck out of here, you little N-words. Like, she might have to talk a little hood with them. But I'm like, damn, Monty. Like, you gotta put that fear, because once you start cursing at them, that fear and that hoodness comes out like, damn, I know my mother get down like that. So I think Marlo probably did say it because the sister did not seem like she agreed with what Marlo said to them and how Marlo's been talking to them.
True, and she did seem a little subdued, like you said, maybe because the camera was around, but she did want to say more in relation to how she does talk to them and treat them. So maybe it could have been harsh like that, but she probably regrets that she even brought it up because now the ladies are kind of like throwing it back at her and holding her accountable. So she probably regrets that part. But like you said, she probably did come at them like that, like get the F out.
She probably said get the F out, but not out of it's one of those things you say it, but then I think she probably apologized to them. But out of that particular moment, anger, you don't know if they were talking back. You don't know what they were doing when she said get the F out.
Mm-hmm.
So her saying it, I don't think I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know the scene, but them kids were making you say get the F out. These kids were drunk, and she got two.
Yeah.
It's not one kid. People got to realize that Marlo is dealing with two boys. That's not even hers. That motherly love that you have when you're pregnant and have them for years is not there. It's just two kids. Hello, nephew and aunt, it's two damn kids thrown in her house. That's strangers to her.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta know them. She don't know them like how she would have known them if they were her own. She's learning their personality. They're learning hers. Is a lot. Just because they're her nephews, I mean, she liked them. Hello, she might not even like them. But the thing is, she got to deal with them. So now, her saying get the F out. Was it the right thing to say? No. Maybe was these kids probably traumatized by her saying it? Maybe, but hey, things happen. Now she could get therapy. She could apologize and move on from it. People
that's true.
On the fact that she said get the F out. Nobody knows how they would have dealt with the situation with two boys. She's ganged up. There's two boys, two big kids. They probably was gang up on Marlo.
That's true. And she probably regrets it now. So, I mean, maybe. Hey, Bella Brooklyn, answer the chat.
Hey.
So, yes. But
hey.
So then the next scene is the husbands basically leave the dinner. And then that's when Sanya's like, Kenya, like, I feel like we got a problem. And she tries to come at her, but then just, that's when
at this point, I'm very disappointed. And I know every Jamaican out there is disappointed too. Because I'm expecting Sanya to bring that Jamaican fire, the accent to come out, the bomba clot to come out, all the cursed Jamaican words to come out, and the pup and everything else. That's what I said. Oh, they got Jamaican words. She didn't do nothing. She felt very flat. At this point, you went against Kenya before nothing happened. You need to take several seats, especially since Ross was not there. Hey, Ross. He wasn't even there.
I know. But she tried though when she said, she was like, hey, Kenya, I forgot how she said it, but it was kind of like,
she didn't say bro, did she? She didn't say bro. She didn't say bro, did she?
Oh, yes. I think maybe not at this time, but I know I don't think she said it this time because that bro does annoy me. When she says, hey, bro and stuff, it does like irk me. So I don't think she said it at that time, but she said, Chevy said Sanya is an upper class Jamaican, not a ghetto gal.
We need ghetto gal. For Jamaica, we need a ghetto gal. That's what I want, the ghetto gal. This uppity Jamaican thing is not cutting it for Housewives Atlanta. And you gotta have the in-between. Like, I could be classy, like, hello. And I could be like, yo, what up? Like, what's
exactly.
good?
No, exactly, Chevy. No, you got to bring the ghetto-ness sometimes. These ladies are classy too, but they bring it when it needs to be brought. And Sanya is not able to bring it when it needs to be brought.
Terrible.
So
she could be classy. I mean, Kenya's well-spoken, but she needed to bring the rah-rah into it. She fell flat. Like, I'm very disappointed. Please don't tell nobody you Jamaican no more, Sanya. Because this is not good. It's not. I'm not saying any Jamaican woman is like that, but I wanted to show a representation of don't mess with Jamaicans. Don't. Oh Lord, I didn't see it. I didn't see it at all. There was none of that. Kenya shut her down, and there was nothing that Sanya did that made me say pop up. There was none of that. There was just.
Yeah, Chevy said I agree, but she doesn't have it in her, and that's what we said before. Like, she does not have it in. Like we said, she's not able to bring it. She tries to bring it, and then she just fell flat at that moment. When at the end, when she's like, she comes at. It seemed like it was at a climactic moment. Like she comes at Kenya, what up? What's going on? And then when Kenya responds to her, it was like, wah, wah, wah.
Well, how I feel it is that she felt bad about the whole situation before, and this is where she's trying to redeem herself.
Mm-hmm.
and she didn't do it. She didn't redeem herself. I feel like she's lost the battle and she just needs to give it up. Like there are certain people you can't battle with. Verbally, she cannot battle with Kenya. Verbally, she can't even hardly battle with Drew. I mean, later on, we'll see the reunion, the woman's in damn tears. So yeah, she started off pretty strong the first two, I would say 2 episodes, and she's doing, behind scenes. She's one of those people like in the confessionals, she makes valid points like you said before, but when it's time to go toe to toe, she can't do it. She can't do it.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like she's great behind the scenes. So then it's like the way she came at, like she tried to come at Kenya in the beginning and then Kenya came back. And the way that she was just talking to Sanya at that moment, I just it's actually like pitiful. It's like you want to jump in for Sanya because the way Kenya responds to her and the way she just shut her down, it was like, oh my God, like, are you serious? So then it ends at that scene when Sanya kind of got stuck on stupid. Like, it's like, okay, yeah.
That was that scene. Sanya. I really did, because I feel like this is your first time on a show. You're trying to set a presence. You're trying to be known. You're trying to represent. You let this woman play you in your country.
Exactly.
Where's the phone call? Like, yeah, I got this girl over there, and they're trying to come and bust up her ass. Like, where's the phone call to all the hood rats to attack?
She should have called Ross back. Like, listen, baby, come back. Like, at least like as a little support. Like, you don't got to tell him jump in, but call him back just because you need his support, so he can be like that support system to maybe make you have a backbone. So.
Nothing. Oh, Chevy said, I agree as a fellow. I can see chats now.
Oh, you see the chat.
Jamaican. Yeah, I was like, yeah, like, oh my God, like really, Sanya? Like really, you're letting Kenya attack you, Ruby attack you. She could have even spoken patois to where none of us know what the hell she was saying. But
I need that patois to come out too.
Yeah, I was waiting for something where it would have came out aggressive, because the patois is always aggressive, regardless of what you're saying. To everybody like, what the hell is she talking about? But it would have seemed like she said something. So I just felt like she fell flat again, and Sanya should not be on the show next season.
Yeah, but she is.
She doesn't bring anything to the show. And you know what? What I'm hoping is what happens with Sanya is the same thing that happened with you. Going back now, maybe when she watches the episode, she see people like me commenting like, girl, you need to step up as a true Jamaican, that maybe next season she'll bring it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's what yeah.
Or she'll like Spice does on Love and Hip Hop. Damn right, they need Spice on Atlanta Housewives. Tear them down.
But like I said, but like you said, great point about Drew. Maybe she needs to warm up. Like she's the new girl on the block. She don't have that confidence. Like I said, I'm not like Sanya at all when somebody come at me, but I am like her and Drew in a sense, like where I need to observe the scene and then get comfortable. Once somebody come at me, that got me like guns blazing. So that part I don't get, but the same thing happened with Drew last year. Kenya, all of them was coming at her with her rat's nest here, all kind of stuff. So, and now she's coming back at bitches. Before she wasn't able to. So maybe we got to wait till next season. Sanya may bring it. The rude gal may come out.
I think so. I think based on comments and everything else, I think next season she's going to bring it. Shereé said, I don't like a bone in Drew body with her lifestyle. I don't like Drew. Thank you, Chevy. Somebody's here. I don't like Drew either. And I think it's because of her weakness towards Ralph. That kind of like totally turns me off.
No, I like I said, I didn't like her before. I was saying before that she needs to be fired. But like I said earlier in this episode, is that I do think she's coming into her element when it comes to the other ladies. Maybe not with Ralph. She's in that's gonna be a whole nother scene that we're gonna see, which is gonna be interesting for the show. The way he treats her is horrible, but it still is good TV. But I do believe with Drew, she is starting to kind of make a little bit of a comeback with these chicks. She's responding. She's not letting stuff slide with Sanya. She's flipping hair. She wouldn't have did that last year. She wouldn't have did that at the reunion. Like, so what she's doing now, I just feel like she's gained some confidence. So that's the part that I want her to stay, because I think next season she's coming in hard this right now. But next season, she's really probably gonna bring it.
I think Drew's gonna bring it next season. I want her to say, but Shereé says Sanya not gonna bring next season. Yeah, she's not gonna bring it next.
We don't know. Listen, I got a little faith. I didn't think Drew would either. Drew's starting to come in. She's starting to, she's throwing bones at bitches. Like, we wouldn't have saw that before. So I'm just saying little things, even though it was corny, she's still doing little things that's making good TV. So I'm gonna have a little faith. Like I said, I was saying in the earlier episodes, I want Sanya fired, but I'm still willing to give her another chance because it seems like they renewed her contract. So I'm hoping. I'm a hopeful woman. So we'll see.
I still want her fired. I still want it. She said, I think Shereé said, I think Drew trying Sanya because she knows Sanya's not able. Yeah, I agree. I think Drew is coming towards Sanya the way that she's doing because she knows Sanya is not about that life. And again, weren't they so-called friends or Drew?
No, but you know what was good? No, but want to speak on it. What's interesting about that? Because I'll be watching all these after shows because I want to see.
You be knowing the tea.
Okay. So the tea is they said behind the scenes, like the producers will put the battery in your back. And from what Candy was saying and Drew on that last speak on it, she was saying that Sanya kind of was getting confused as to how to handle it. Like when the producers is coming at you saying like, listen, this is going to be the next scene. You need to bring it. You need to let her know what time it is. Like you need to do something. Like they kind of put a battery in her back. And Candy was saying like, sometimes you can't take every bone that the producers throw out to you because the producers got a job too, to do their job when they're taping, when they're on the scene, they bringing out the cameras. They only got 12 hours to catch a scene. So within that 12, they only got anything over 12. They said they got to get overtime. So, and it's a lot of money. You got to pay them in overtime. So they try their best to catch the scene within that 12 hours. So they constantly like throwing little darts out. Like, listen, you need to do this. You need to do that. But what Candy was saying, like, you got to be able to kind of like still channel some things out, channel it in, you got to know what to kind of like piggyback on and what not to. And with Sanya being a newbie, she seems to be like kind of like discombobulating, like kind of like how Drew was in the first season. So that's why I'm saying like maybe this time she's kind of going to know the game. And I think they put a battery in her back to go after Drew. So I don't know. I'm thinking like next season, maybe she's going to lay off of her and really bring it somewhere else. So that's why I'm saying I'm going to have a little bit of hope for her because it seemed like the producers are like kind of egging these women on in a way, but the OGs know how to handle it, whereas the newbies don't.
Maybe. And Joanne said Sanya may bring it next season because when the cameras do those close-ups, her face scares me. She said like that voodoo doll on that scary movie. What?
Triangulate, of Terror. I never saw that movie.
God, I never saw that movie, but I mean, Sanya's face on the close-ups. I'm not feeling Sanya. I'm disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm extremely disappointed in Sanya because I was very excited that they had a Caribbean person on the show, and she fell flat.
Yeah, but we'll see next season. And the last scene of that episode was when they went to the airport. And Marlo got her driver to stop at KFC, and they made up over fried chicken. Her and Candy made up over the fried chicken.
It said me, but Candy always seemed real greedy. Like she's always into food or something. She loves to eat. I mean, she owns a restaurant. I mean, to make up with Marlo over fried chicken. I mean, it happens, I guess.
Absolutely not. Listen, I'm a foodie. I wouldn't do it. If I don't like your rice, I don't care. I love some fried chicken, but there ain't no damn way I'm gonna make up. Especially Candy got money. But she is kind of cheap, so she probably not gonna get a driver and stop at KFC. And she's always late anyway, so she probably was on a time. Her time was messed up going to the airport, so she didn't have time. But ain't no way. As much as I love food and fried chicken, I would not. I'm a starve before I ask somebody that talks about my husband, my mama, and everybody else. I'll be damned if I'm a starve before I ask you for a piece of chicken wing, chicken bone, anything.
Well, I don't know if Kenny asked or Marlo offered.
No, she gave it. Okay, well, no matter what it is, you offer, ask. I'm not getting none of your chicken once you come at me, my mama, and my husband. Like, no. That's crazy. Like Candy was like you can't. I mean, I guess like she's such like food is like that important to her. No way would I have ever in this lifetime. I'm a starve.
Well, during that time, Marlo was trying to make amends with Candy. So Marlo got the chicken. I don't know if she intentionally got it, knowing that Candy would do it. I would get the chicken. I still wouldn't talk to your ass. That wouldn't have changed anything. I would be like, oh yeah, you offering chicken because we're in Jamaica and supposedly KFC over there is really good. I would have ate the chicken and I still wouldn't talk to you.
I ain't eating no chicken. I would have been like, I'm good.
I would eat the chicken and I wouldn't talk to them because again, they were heading back to the US. They probably didn't have time to stop to get the chicken. I would eat the chicken and I talked to her. I'd be like, thank you. And then I would not talk to her. Candy ate the chicken, but still, she was still mad.
But I'm not going to give that to you where I'm getting some of your chicken. Like, I'm going to let you know you and your chicken can be gone. Like, I would never, like, I want no parts of somebody who comes at me or anything about my life. There's no way. I just think that's like, I just think it's like pathetic.
Yeah, but this is chicken in Jamaica.
Somebody talk about your mama. Somebody talk about your mama and they offer you a piece of a chicken wing. You going to take that chicken wing?
Well, I don't eat chicken. So I got to think.
Okay, whatever you love, you gonna take that?
It all depends on how angry I was at that particular.
Oh, yeah, that's a shame. What they say about.
I like food too, so I have to think how angry was I really still that angry? I mean, she didn't really say nothing that bad about her mother now.
Her husband and how he's a moocher and all. No matter what, like no way. All the stuff that she said, it was just like. No way would I'm going to starve. I know how I am, and I can be very stubborn when someone doesn't acknowledge like my hurt, when they don't acknowledge, like Marlo said sorry to Drew and apologized to Drew for coming at like responding to the whole adoption thing. But she came at Candy's mama and her husband and didn't even apologize, and I'm gonna eat her chicken wings? No.
Like I said, I would have to think that day. I mean, maybe I'm hungry. I don't know. I have to see how I feel that particular moment on whether I would not eat the chicken or not. I will still not talk to her, but it all depends on whether I would eat the chicken or not. Bella Brooklyn said, Kenny said at the reunion that Ty told her to forgive her and forget about it. And then Shereé said, Marlo from Florida. That's how Florida people are. She said that. From Florida. I mean, Bella's saying that Todd told her to forgive her. I don't know why Todd would say that. She was going for Todd's head.
Huh?
Marlo was going for Todd's head, so I don't know why the hell he was telling Kenya.
But how men are, they just be like, forgive her, like she's pathetic. Like to me, it would be like, listen, like you on top, girl. Like this is somebody that you don't really like. Come on now, she needs you more than you need her. Like forgive her. Like I can see Todd saying that, and he did tell Candy to forgive her. So I still wouldn't have though. Once she talked about her mother. Like how, no. Mm-mm.
And the thing with Todd, I think he's saying, just forgive her because like he probably didn't take it that serious or that big of a deal. But again, they didn't know that Marlo was talking about Candy previously in a bad way, talking about how she's a whole.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
They didn't know that part because Candy said, I don't remember what show she was on. She was upset with Marlo and they became friends over the chicken. But when she saw the stuff that her and Shereé was saying behind her back, she got all upset again, stopped talking to Marlo again. Because she didn't see that scene. She didn't know about that scene about talking about she's a hoe, spreading it wide, and all this other stuff.
Yeah, that's true. She's going to see it afterwards.
She saw it afterwards. So that's why she probably forgave Marlo as quicker, because she felt like, it was just something that went on over the table, my mom, whatever. But I think with the whole thing, they got pretty upset that really, this is what you guys were doing behind my back.
That's true, but even on that scene when they was at the restaurant and whatever that issue that they were beefing about, I still wouldn't have spoken to. I wouldn't have took no chicken from her. I still stand on that. I'm not taking no chicken, no parts of no chicken from you. If we at the airport, I would ignore you. You would not exist until you apologize. The chicken and offering me chicken is not an apology to me. So I would never. Like, I'm never gonna take a piece of chicken wing. Chicken, no parts.
Chevy said, did they ever find out who wrote that note about Candy? I'm thinking it's Marlo now.
No, they don't find out. Like, we didn't get to that episode yet, but nope, they never. You don't know who wrote that note. No one is admitting to it. No one.
I think it was probably it was Marlo at this point. I think it was probably Marlo.
No, I don't think it was Marlo. I think it was Shereé. Because the way Shereé was, yeah, because remember she said in the confessional, she's like, well, you know, what's the problem? Like, she done F dudes other places or whatever she said, but she made a little snide remark. So
I don't see Marlo Shereé writing down Candy suck dick.
I can see that. I can see I can see it being Kenya. It could be Marlo. Yeah, because to me, I feel like they do certain things to cause, like, I probably would do something like that. I wouldn't mean it to, like, go against my friends.
Trouble.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would make some interesting TV. Like, I would probably do it with you. Like, listen, and you would never ever find out. Listen, that's the key to it. That's the key. I'm trying to keep us on the show. I'm trying to keep our peach. So, and trying to keep our peach, I might throw a little something out there, like, just to get the pot stirring. So I would do it.
Yeah,
and I would do, like, whoever it is in that mix, you would never, ever, ever know. I would never, being that it's 6 of us, I would never say it was me. But my intention wouldn't be to hurt you, but I would just I wouldn't probably say effing in the locker room, because I wouldn't want to put it out there like you some slut, but I might say something like just to stir the pot.
Yeah, at first I thought it was Kenya, because the way she didn't want to try to figure out who wrote the note. Because you remember they were like, Candy kept talking about, well, you leave. Well, whatever. Let's keep moving on. Like, Kenya wasn't trying to say, oh, let's figure out who wrote the note. Kenya was kind of like, let's move on to the next topic. But Candy was like, who wrote that note? Who wrote that? So, I mean, it could have been any of them that wrote that note about Candy. Sheree said, I'm surprised they never exposed who did that. Yeah, they never did.
But they don't know, though. I think they would have, but I don't think the cameraman caught it. Whoever wrote it, it just ended up in the whole thing, in the question thing. So I don't think they caught who wrote it. So it's like it has to be someone that has to admit to it.
And nobody's doing that, but that was
Seven said production probably did it. I wouldn't put it past them.
That's true. Good point.
That's what I'm saying. I think a lot of them are doing things to make the show interesting. I know I would.
That is a good point. I never even thought about, like, yeah, let's throw that in there. That is true. You never know. At this point, you never know, because I was still trying to, when they showed the confessional, you know, like sometimes when things are unresolved and we don't know who did it, they kind of show you people in the confessional looks kind of guilty, but they all seem like they were adamant about they didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Bella Brooklyn said, I think it was Kenya. Chevy said, Bravo catch everything on camera, but that is true. I mean, Kenya was the one that had the idea of doing the game.
That's what I'm saying. I do think, and I think, like, it's just weird to me. Like, I think they would, even in the beginning, Andy on his Watch What Happens Live was saying, like, we're gonna find out at the reunion who wrote the note, and even now we still don't know. Like, that was kind of whack on their part. Like, they should have at least they should have had it like when somebody found out whoever wrote it. Like, they should have been able to close that chapter. That's the only thing I'm, like, disappointed in. Like, you made us believe that we were going to find out at the reunion. Like, come on now. We didn't find out now.
But I think because Candy didn't push it either. I think if Candy was more like, I want to know who wrote the note, I think it would have been more where they would try to figure out who wrote the note. Candy, after that scene, she didn't continue talking about that note. Like, it wasn't like an ongoing topic. It was definitely the moment, that episode. She didn't seem like she wanted to, investigate. And who cares? You suck dick in the locker room. Like Shereé said, she's been sucking dick everywhere else. Why was she so upset about that? Well, you upset about that? Why would you play that game at a child's party? Well, that is true. That was kind of like a little bit much. That was a little bit too much.
You know, people do that. I think people play that. I've been at them, like, kids' parties where, like, it goes down, like, for the adults. Like, the kids are over there playing. Like, let the kids play. And, we're not amongst the kids. The kids are over there and we're over here. Like, so
listen. I don't think, for me personally, if you're having a kid's birthday party and it's your own damn kid's birthday party, like, stuff happens where things happen at kids' birthday party, but not normally the host or the parent of the kid. I would not have a game. Well, if Marlo wrote if Kenya wrote the note, that's different. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
If she wrote that, then that's different. But I don't see Kenya personally putting a note and writing something like that at a kid's birthday party.
She played the game. What you mean she want to write it because she had a kids party?
Her daughter's party, you think she would write you suck dick in a locker room in a kid's
Why
party?
is she playing a whole like a game that's gonna cause controversy? Like, why wouldn't she? Yeah, I think Kenya, I think the only reason I think me being, like I said, me being Aquarius and Kenya and Marlo being Aquarius, I do believe like I'm gonna do things, and I think Kenya and Marlo is very savvy when it comes to business and keeping this ball rolling. Like, I'm going to throw something out there to keep this show interesting, especially if I see it's like getting boring. I don't know, like that scene that was kind of beginning. I'm gonna throw something out there to get some sparks going, like light a fire up in here. I'm gonna throw this out here. So I can see Kenya doing that, or Marlo. Being an Aquarius myself, I will throw something out there. I'm gonna throw something out there. We gotta get this party started, keep these peaches going, and I'm gonna throw something out here. And especially if I feel like the show needs a life rafter, like I need to throw it out there.
And I also think she did it because she wanted her daughter's birthday party to be a scene on the TV. Because that was a scene. Maybe they wouldn't air that party. Maybe it was gonna be like a boring kids party. Like, oh, we're never gonna put that on TV. Maybe she added that little spice to the party. Like, oh, I need to make it a little spicy, so they put that episode on the show. I don't know.
Well, I know when I be at one of my homegirls who have kids, since her kids was young, we would have our own little party, and the kids would be over there. The kids do not be interested in what you doing. You letting the kids be kids, let them do their thing. We over here doing our thing. We getting our drink on. We getting the party started over here, and they over there. So I can see us playing a game. Why not? The kids over there, it's like the kids are playing a game with us. Who cares?
It's not like the kids were reading that Candy suck dick.
Exactly.
What he did if that note was left somewhere and one of the kids came, oh my God, Mommy, look what this note says.
Listen, I've been at some hood parties like that. Not to say like it's hood, but listen, we gotta entertain ourselves too at these kids' parties. And I'm all for entertainment and not being amongst. I don't want to play merry-go-round. I want to have my own little party while they doing their own thing. So yeah, like Bella said she think it was Kenya, and Shereé was like, my money's on production. So I don't know if production would do that though. Like, because I listen to a lot of Carlos King. You know, he used to be production. He used to be a part of production of Atlanta Housewives. And he lets you in on a lot of behind the scenes scenarios. And he also is the one that says, like, you know, production, they have they're part of a union. So it's like they have strict rules and regulations. Like, I just don't think like they would kind of interfere in like the whole like natural thing of like the Housewives. So
yeah. Oh my goodness. So I guess this wraps the episode.
Yeah.
Scene.
Yep, that's it. And we still catching up. So we're gonna be back again with another episode, right?
16.
Yes, I can't believe how long these episodes are going now. I feel like they're going like to episode 20 and 21, when before they was going to like episode 15, 16. I don't remember it ever going like this long, but
especially since the season ain't even that interesting. They should end at 12.
Yeah. But that's it for that episode. And thank you guys for being in the chat. Like I said, this is our first live, so it's not a lot of people in here, but I appreciate all of you guys that stayed. Joanne, Bella, Brooklyn, Chevy, Glorel. We appreciate you for being the first ones to initiate us into the live. Yes. And we're going to start doing lives from now on.
Join us next time so we can chat. Thank you, Joanne.
Yes. See you soon.
Bye.
Toodles.